Alright guys, Ted Cribbit here today, and we're talking CWL London. The schedule has been announced for this event. Also want to talk through a lot of details on exactly what you can expect from a spectator standpoint, whether you're at home or whether you're actually going to be attending the event. So we're going to go through that today. There hasn't been much going on over the last day or two, as I'm sure you guys are aware, and the next couple of days is unlikely to be as well as we prepare for CWL London. Nothing really going on. Therefore, tomorrow, instead of a video, I'm thinking we're going to go back to this trivia. So if you guys were aware, on Monday, we did a Guess the Logo trivia game here live on the channel. So I did a video earlier in the day, and then in the evening we did a trivia game. So it was pretty good fun. This weekend on Saturday we're going to hopefully do the same thing again, but instead of 72 logo based questions, these are going to be 20 questions based on iconic Call of Duty moments on the whole. So going to be something like, I don't know, let me choose an iconic moment that we didn't end up using in this trivia game. So something like Scumpy's 3-piece against Complexity way back in the Black Ops 2 Champs, the $20,000 round of Search and Destroy, all that stuff. So maybe, you know, a couple of questions on that. Maybe who said that iconic line, $20,000 round of Search and Destroy, and, you know, who did, you know, Scumpy kill first in the 3-piece he got, or what map was it on, or something like that. Some of you guys might not even know what moment I'm talking about, probably don't. So I'll leave the link to that in the description box below. That's the same kind of thing that I'm going to be basing these trivia questions on. So it's kind of a look back at Call of Duty history for those guys who aren't so aware. Maybe you've come into Call of Duty recently. There's a lot of really iconic moments from the past that hopefully these trivias will allow us to revisit. So 20 questions going to be done on stream. It's going to be through Kahoot like we did before. A lot of you turned out to the first one. This is going to be on Saturday night, so it should be more convenient for everyone to come along and play along with. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to plan it for 9 PM British summertime. I will update this tomorrow on my channel, because instead of doing a video I can put out like posts on my channel. Also I'll be updating it on my Twitter, so if you want to follow the Twitter to make sure you don't miss it, then that's down in the description box below. Would greatly appreciate that. So probably 9 PM British summer time, which means 1 PM Pacific time, 4 PM Eastern time. So hopefully it's on a Saturday. So, well, it is on a Saturday. So hopefully that's better for you guys. And yeah, we'll go through the trivia. The first one on Monday was kind of a warm-up thing to make sure it all worked out. So this time should be better. Should be able to get over the hiccups with the bots joining. There's a way around that Kahoot provide. So at this point, hopefully I'll be able to do these in the coming weeks. Maybe instead of videos on Saturdays if there's not much going on, because I'm going to be pretty busy over the next month or so with exams and the like. So maybe I'll be able to keep it going. We could potentially keep some sort of tally of how well people are doing across multiple different trivia quizzes across time. So I hope you guys tune in. Had a lot of you on the Monday one, so hopefully this one will be bigger and better. Let's get on to CWL London here. So it was officially announced just a couple of hours before I'm recording this video that all of the spectator passes have been sold out for the event. So it's going to be big, at least 2,500 people in the venue. It's the Copper Box Arena, which we'll go into in more detail towards the latter half of the video. Firstly, let's talk about the schedule. So here we have it. We're going to be going through the main stage stream, the Bravo, the Charlie, and the Deltas. There's going to be 4 streams in action. They're going to be on, well, as we've had in previous events. Typically, the event has started at 2 PM local time, which I thought would be the same thing here, but they're actually moving it back an hour. I think as the Copper Box Arena, the venue wants to close, you know, earlier rather than later, right? Because last year we had matches going ridiculously late at night, so the venue is due to close at 10:30 every day. So they've shifted it back an hour so we can get to that. So let's go through the schedule here for the Friday. Splice versus Denial is first up on main stage, and they've done a very good job on this scheduling for the UK crowd that's going to be there, because every one of the first 5 matches has someone from in and around the European region. So firstly, Splice versus Denial. This new Denial squad fresh onto the main stage. 4 out of the 5 guys from the UK, with Brack of course on that team. You've got Jerd on Splice as well, so yeah, he's going to be on that squad. So of course he made the grand finals last year on that Splice team that made grand finals at Birmingham when they ended up losing to Luminosity, which we do have a rematch, not really a rematch, but in terms of the organisations, we have a rematch of last year's UK event finals at on the main stage as well. But there's a lot of other fantastic matches off on the other stations, which we'll have a look at in a second here. So if you are attending the event, well, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to be organised, but usually how it works is you've got a main stage, you can sit in front of that, and then if you want to watch the Bravo Charlie Delta matches, you can go over to the side stations and sit around, you know, well, stand around basically in front of those, and then maybe you can probably hear some noise on the main stage if it's getting pretty rowdy. So 100 of these Reciprocity is the second match of the day, and well, this is a tough one, of course. Reciprocity going up are arguably the favourites for the entire tournament in 100 Thieves here. So yeah, Rec and Denial, first two teams. These are the teams with the highest UK representation. Team Reciprocity, all 5. Denial, 4 out of 5. Then we got FaZe Clan with Scraps and Zero up against E United. That's going to be a pretty exciting one. Clayster versus FaZe Clan as an organisation is always pretty good. Optic versus Reciprocity later in the night. Of course, Optic, it was pointed out to me yesterday, of course, I did discuss my predictions for the pools. I said, okay, maybe Reciprocity will get the better of Optic. I feel like 100 Thieves should be okay. Of course, yeah, Optic Gaming did beat Reciprocity in the league with Dylan CoD, so that's definitely a fair point. Of course, at Fort Worth, Reciprocity did get the better of them, so as it definitely a tough match to call here, but with the home advantage, I'm going to say, hell yeah, let's go Rec. And yeah, Splice versus LG later in the day. So yeah, so all these matches have UK representation, apart from Splice, where Jerds, of course, is from Ireland. And then final match of the day, 100 Thieves versus Optic. This is potentially a big one because these pools could be incredibly deadly. Enigma 6 could be doing something very scary as well, which we'll have a look at in a second. So it's possible this match could mean a lot. So yeah, as I say, these are the other timings for the matches. By the time you wake up in the States, the matches will already be live for a lot of you. And yeah, it'll finish pretty damn early in the day. 12, finish at like 2 p.m. for you guys on the West Coast. So, the Bravo station, this is what we've got. E United versus Envious first up. Optic versus Enigma 6. So, it's pretty good news for if you're an Optic fan, that the fact that they get Enigma 6, arguably the easier matchup. It's going to be a tough match still, but the easier matchup first, and they build up through to the final boss, I guess, 100 Thieves at the end of the day. And see if they can get their revenge from when they lost them in the league, which is a close match, of course, but, a topic for another day or a topic from a previous day, depending on when you're watching this. Optic Gaming Enigma 6 is second matchup. Genji versus Splice, so many of these matches are unbelievably difficult to call. I think a lot of people in yesterday's predictions were leaving Splice out the top 2. It definitely makes a lot of sense, but it's incredibly tough to call because Splice on their day can turn up and be one of the very best teams in the game. To Heretics versus Elevate. Heretics don't get a shot on main stage, but they do on the side station here. So Elevate, of course, has got some French representation. Spanish, of course, are the boys of Heretics. So this is going to be a pretty exciting European matchup on the Bravo side of things. FaZe Envy is an incredibly exciting matchup, of course. So this one isn't on the main stage in place of Splice versus LG, but arguably it could have been, right? These are two new teams, which I'm sure a lot of people are excited to watch. So arguably they could have put this on main stage, but I guess that kind of rematch organisation thing, Splice and LG, made more sense for them in their opinion. Midnight versus Heretics as well, to finish up the Bravo day. Then we've got the Charlie station, if it'll load for me in just a second. Here we go. Genji LG first up. Huge matchup. Heretics UYU could be for whoever tops the pool in that one. Envy versus EG is an exciting one. You've got, Apathy and JCap, former Envy guys, going up against Team Envious here. Very exciting indeed. 100 Thieves and Enigma 6 is another big one. Genji versus Denial as well. So the guys at Denial going up against Genji. I mean, obviously incredibly difficult matches for these guys. And then E6 Reciprocity to round out the day, which could be a huge one again in determining who get out the groups. I would say it's very likely that this match will have heavy importance, as will most of them. And going on to the Delta stream, one of the biggest matchups of the day is right here. So we have FaZe EG to start with. This is a very exciting one. I do want to talk about storylines in more depth over the coming days, but let's not forget, Pool C is full of storylines. I could probably make an entire video on just Pool C storylines, because EG have got a Tatch going up against FaZe, which he could have joined, but JCap persuaded him to stay. So if they lose, then maybe he'll get a little twinge of regret in his mind. Midnight versus Elevate, another big one. Luminosity, I mean, so many incredible matchups right here. Luminosity versus Denial is another incredibly difficult one for those guys. The real highlight, of course, is E United versus LG, another Pool C matchup. This is later in the evening, 7 BST, 11 AM Pacific time, 2 PM Eastern time. And this is, of course, Clayster versus JCap. We've had that drama from earlier in the year. We'll be talking about that more in depth in maybe a video in a couple of days' time, talking about storylines, how, Jacob and Clayster had a back and forth on Twitter. It was a lot of stuff talked about at the time. This is the first time these guys are going to match up since. So that's the schedule. I thought it would be worth going into some depth for those of you who are actually attending the event. So this is what Gfinity have put out on their social media. So this is on their website here. So an introduction, event location, going to be at the Copperbox Arena. This is the image. So the Copperbox is here. The station is there for those guys attending. I'll leave this link to below if you want to see, their recommendations on how to attend. This is the big point. They've changed their bag regulations. It was talked a while ago that you wouldn't even be able to bring a bag into the event because there's going to be issues with like bomb threats and the like. So then they updated it so that you could bring a see-through bag as long as it wasn't too big. Now you're allowed to bring any bag that's not larger than 40 centimeters by 35 by 20, which they reckon is about the size of like a normal backpack. So you should be okay bringing any non-see-through backpack. They're gonna check it, but you should be fine. So they've updated that, which is excellent news. Okay, so some more details on how to exactly get to this place. We'll also have some great details further down. So this is the schedule for the opening day at 9 a.m. admission for all players, 9:30 for general admission from the public. Then the amateur tournament is yet to be determined when it starts. Then we have the pro tournament. It finishes all at about 10 p.m. they would expect. Then the venue closes at 10:30. Saturday is a similar kind of idea. Sunday as well. So yeah, pro tournament day 3 finished 9 p.m. So they're at 9:30. So they're expecting the grand finals to finish about that time. And yeah, so to continue scrolling down, security procedures, the stuff they're going to check your bags for. So you're not bringing alcohol in, you're not bringing any illicit substances. So if you're a player, you're trying to sneak your addy in, you might have to think of another way to do it. I don't know, just to bring that up to effect. So yeah, bag policy, talking about this again. So you are actually allowed a backpack now. I'll go through a TDLR in just a second here. Event catering, this is quite interesting as well. Hopefully this all fits on the screen for you guys. Yeah, it should do quite nicely. So if you are attending the event, the cheapest pint you're going to get is a pint of Peroni for £6. 5.1% though, so it's not too bad. But yeah, these are the prices. It's not actually that tragic, but yeah, £6 for a pint is rough, especially where I come from. So yeah, it is what it is. So also one thing to mention here, the Breakfast Club up in the top left, so pretty near the Copper Box, probably only about a 5-minute walk from the Copper Box. The Breakfast Club Restaurant Cafe, if you have an event wristband, you'll be able to get 15% off. On any item on the menu, which may be a pretty good deal for going out there if you want, dinner or whatever food after the event in the evening if you decide to leave a little bit early. So that's the information. This is the Breakfast Club in a little bit more detail. So yeah, let me get off that. Here's the Cold Box Arena. This is the Breakfast Club right here. And yeah, the station is over here at Stratford. And I'll be staying around, well, there's a Travelodge down there somewhere. I'm staying very near there. So about a 20-minute walk in for me across here. If you guys haven't booked anything yet, then, well, you're a bit late to the party. So this is a TDLR of the stuff you need to know if you're attending. Also, in terms of this video being like a survival guide, very crucial that you bring a bottle of water. Like, I don't think you're allowed to have any, no external food and drink. Even water you might not be allowed to bring into the venue, but you will be able to bring an external water bottle. Highly recommended. Get yourself down to Sports Direct and get yourself a 1 litre Slazenger bottle like this, or whatever other 1 litre water bottle you can get, because 1 litre bottles are infinitely better than 750ml from my experience. Definitely worth getting rather than having to pay them for £1.50. You can refill them in the venue, which is obviously the way to go. Also, people always mention when you go to these events, bring some antibacterial like hand gel and that, so you can make sure your hands are clean and the like, because when you go to the toilets and stuff, loads of people sitting on chairs that everyone else has been sitting on. It's a sweaty gamer convention after all. Like, it's probably, you got to try and make sure you keep your hands clean so you don't get any infection, you don't get a cold over the coming days. Those would be my recommendations. So anyway, quick TLDR, admission for players 9 a.m. every day, general public 9:30 every day, venue closes 10:30 every day, so it may be able to change if things, if every series goes game 5, for example, then it probably will have to be extended. So team builder, so something's going on here. Also, it was mentioned by Chris Trout that there will be some other things to do at the event as a spectator, so there might be some booths where you can play Black Ops 4, like game battles against other players or something like that. So maybe if you use Control Freaks or something, like I might bring my Control Freak along just in case I'm playing some guy. I don't know. So one person can collect accreditation on behalf of their team. So if you are, for whatever reason, watching this and you happen to be competing in the open bracket, this is some information for you guys. There's also another link I'll leave down below, which gives you some links to stuff you need to know as an open bracket player. No external food and drink. Everyone can bring in a non-clear bag, so just a normal backpack, basically any standard size backpack, which is obviously excellent news. 2 entrances, one for players, one for spectators. Bring your photo IDs. And that's all I wanted to say in today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, learned something new. Let me know which of these matches you are most looking forward to. I feel like this one on Delta is very exciting indeed. It's going on at the same time as some other really big matches here, as you can see. FaZe Envy, Splice LG, all at the same time as this JCap versus Clayst rematch. So very exciting stuff. Like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tune into the trivia tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be a great time. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you next time.
Got the bomb.
Oh my god, you
Good job, CVP. Do it again and let's go home.
You just pull their pants down, bend them over, and like, crap out of them.
Yo, listen, maybe to actually I miss my 2010 doing every answer so much.
Shit about that, look what just happened.